Okay then guys, what's going on? Cloud Plays here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we are looking at this. Now this right here is just a snippet of it. We have got APOCS coming out of our rear end with tier 3 mods. This is APOC Legendaries, this is APOC Epics. Now the percentage rate has definitely gone up for this. So all of the APOC gear that you guys are getting at the moment is going to be boosted. And we're going to talk about it right now here on the channel. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe, post notifications turned on. And let's dive in to this really weird bug. So as of today, there has been some very interesting things happening inside of Outriders, of which we are calling the back-end server patch. And this has been something that happened really weirdly, actually. They essentially made a bit of a back-end update. And this is essentially a update that they make without really announcing anything, without making any sort of like crucial changes that are going to break the game. Well, this one actually broke the game. So now what we have got is throughout the entire storyline, you are finding that tier 3 mods are dropping onto all APOCs. Now, if you haven't already, smash the like button. It'd be so greatly appreciated, and subscribe, post notifications turned on, also greatly appreciated. We have got a massive server going on at the minute, 600 people nearly in the server over the space of a few weeks. If you guys want to join in with those Outriders, the link is down in the description. But this right here is so damn broken. Essentially what we're seeing is that the new back-end update that we have had inside of Outriders earlier on today has made it so that all APOC epics, around 95% of them, and around 90% of legendaries are now dropping with tier 3 mods in the 3rd slot. As you guys will well have known, this was not something that had happened beforehand, and we actually saw the back end point of this through the vendors. Now, I was obviously quite lucky to get in with a podcast with a full measure Play-Doh Bear and Ark, the balance developer that was present at the time, and we had this discussion yesterday with regards to the vendor roles, and you can actually just jump into a vendor and shop every half an hour whilst just watching Netflix or doing whatever you're doing. You didn't actually have to fully play the game. And miraculously today we seem to have a bit of a change around in the background of the game, which is now reverted so that actually you get rewarded for playing the game somewhat. If you want any tier 1 mods or tier 2 mods in that 3rd slot, don't bank on them, they're not dropping. Right now what we are seeing is tier 3 mods are raining from the damn sky. If you want any confirmation on that, we have got a live stream that we did. We're going to stick the annotation in the top right corner now so you guys can go and check that out. But as an overall, it is absolutely mental. We farmed it for about 2 hours and tier 3 mods just rained from absolute heavens. Now, a great example of this is actually this run here that we had on the final Arbiter. This was a run which was really interesting and actually really woke me up to the main crucial point of how this is working. Now, it's not 100% and not every single one is dropping on tier 3, although the rating is dropping at about 90 to 95% right now, which means that essentially majority of what you're getting is going to have a tier 3 mod on the end of it. Whether this was intentional or not, we'll have to wait and see. I can't imagine it being too intentional. I know this is obviously quite a positive note to stop the vendor resets and just farming at all of the vendors, and if you're on PS5 or PS4, then having that broken vendor inside of the Forest Enclave, which you could just keep reopening and just keep refreshing, this was something which was obviously going to rectify that and cause for maybe a bit more replayability inside of the game. But it's now so bloody broken that I just can't see this being intentional. If this was intentional, I'm a little bit confused. If it wasn't intentional, well, you kind of expect it, but I did kind of expect it during an actual patch. Although this has completely solidly confirmed that they are doing ghost updates in the background, because these changes don't just happen for no bloody reason whatsoever. Somebody's tinkering with some numbers somewhere, and we're not aware of that. So this has obviously made a big alteration. I'm waiting on the Arkan or somebody from the PCF Square Enix team to make some sort of notice on it, but you'll see right here in this clip with the Arbiter that actually when we get the loot drop, we end up with a ridiculous sight. So we have this right here, which is a tier 3 mod for Legendary Minefield, a tier 3 mod for Killing Spree, and a tier 3 mod for Tactical Retreat. All 3 legendaries have got tier 3 mods on them, and this was just the beginning of this run. We have had around 4 or 5 runs in the live stream that we did tonight, and every single boss of every single room or every single completion that dropped loot, if it was APOC, it had tier 3 mods on it. There was obviously the exclusions, where we found that actually there was a bit of a weird thing happening when you rinsed and repeated the Arbiter. It wasn't happening for everybody, but it did happen for me every time. Essentially, that when you rinsed and repeat the Arbiter, you were not getting that. So the first time you did the Arbiter, you would get it. The second time, you wouldn't get all tier 3s. The third time, you wouldn't get all tier 3s, so on and so forth. And I don't know if that was just my RNG loot just dipping. I haven't got a clue. But we do know that they did make an effect towards the Arbiter rinse and repeat method to stop you from kind of doing that. So for me personally, I'd say probably don't do it. Just keep running as you would. You can also run this inside of expeditions and it's dropping there as well. You can also drop this inside of storylines, but the APOC leveling is obviously quite low for that regard. So you're not getting many APOCs to drop. But what I would say is running the Tarrier Gratar or running the expeditions is probably your most solid bet for this right now, just because it's just ridiculous. So you just can't put it into words. Everything that's dropping right now is dropping with a tier 3 mod on it. So if you guys are wanting to perfect your builds, now is the time to use and abuse this. If they have been messing around with it, well, more fool them. Don't mess around with it in the background unless you're absolutely certain that what you're going to do isn't going to affect it this way. If it was meant to be this way, well, thank you very much. You've officially made it so that I never have to look at a vendor ever again. That's just the honest truth. This is so flippin' effective, it's insane. And for me, this is going to absolutely, in one regard, change the game and make people want to play it a hell of a lot more. But also in the same regard, with these mods dropping so freaking heavily right now, people are going to get those bits that they were grinding for pretty damn quickly. It's kind of like that backhanded compliment where essentially people are going to start playing to get the gear and then they're going to stop playing because they got the gear so fast. You can never really hit that happy medium, but this game isn't a live service game and we kind of confirmed that a little bit yesterday. That's neither here nor there. But as you will see just here as well, although the loot drops are a lot lower than what they used to be, and the APOC loot drop in is pretty damn atrocious now, I can't lie to you. You do get a lot of non-APOC gear, which we just definitely don't want. If you look at what we do manage to actually find inside of this, it's pretty damn mental. Even the legendary drops a tier 3 cryo turret mod, and then when we look at the weapons on side of that, we've got Firestorm on the end of this one. They're just dropping so frequently now, it's become pretty damn insane. These builds are going to be working around a lot of purples now because they're just so damn good for that tier 3 mod slot. If you can't get it in a legendary, then this is going to be pretty interesting to see how this goes, especially when it comes towards the more weapon side of things. I feel like there's going to be a massively diverse maneuver when it comes to the game now, because people are going to be getting god rolls left, right, and center on these purples. These purples are dropping like hotcakes. So you want to jump in right now, go and farm the Tarrier Gratar, go and farm your expeditions, and make sure that you are hammering in as hard as you can, because this is definitely going to be something that they fix very, very soon. I'll be surprised if this lasts longer than 24 hours, but that's neither here nor there. If you haven't already, make sure you smash the beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe, post notifications turned on. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. Appreciate your faces, but as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.